warm welcome to everyone. So today we have gathered virtually for the webinar on Opportunities in Industries 4.0 hosted by Department of BCA KLE Societies Degree College Nagarbavi. Before proceeding further, I would like to share few words about KLE Society and our department. Karnataka Lingayat Education Society, started in 1916, occupies a very special niche in the field of education, has now grown into a large institution that encompasses an autonomous university and over 270 institutions spread across the country and outside, with over 16,000 employees working to cater the needs of more than 1,25,000 students. The collaborations with universities in the US, UK and Malaysia have added a whole new dimensions to the KLE societies, making it on par with the reputed educational institutions worldwide. The Department of Bachelor of Computer Application was started at KLE Society's Degree College, Nagarbavi in 2017 with the mission to provide high-quality computer educations to the students. The institution grooms its students to excel as future ITians. We have plenty of learning opportunities for our students. We are associated with ICT Academy, UiPath, Oracle, Palo Alto, AWS Academy, Micro Focus, and Salesforce. Today we are hosting our webinar of Cloud Arena webinar series. The speaker of today's webinar is Mr. Mahesh Narayan sir. Mahesh Narayan is an advanced analytics and artificial intelligence professional and is senior manager of Accenture. Mahesh is an experienced AI and advanced analytics professional. He has around 16 years of experience in the area of analytics and AI. He had delivered solutions for technology, platform clients, telecom and high-tech clients. He is involved in developing and deploying AI solutions in the area of image, video, audio, and text content moderation. He has also worked on customer and sales analytics projects. He is passionate about sharing knowledge through guest lectures at leading business schools and speaking at conferences and seminars. He has a patent granted in his name and have authored various thought leadership publications. Now I request Mr. Mahesh Narayan to present his talk. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. So, hi everyone. A very good morning to all of you. Happy Monday. Hope all of you are doing well during these pandemic times. I know these are all tough times that we are all going through, but I think we have institutions like KLE who's providing very quality education to all of you, and very glad to be part of this August audience. So with that, let us get started. Before I get started, I wanted to kind of ensure that all of us are interacting well, and I kind of typically use my online medium to do that interaction. So let me share my screen. So I'm using a platform called Mentimeter. So I request all of you to go to a website called menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 2311501. I'll repeat. The code is 2311501, and if you can go to a website called menti.com. And I have a simple question for you. How's your experience to study from home? So let's see. Let's test this platform to get some interaction going. Yeah, Nitish, you wanted to ask a question? Nitish Kumar, you have your raised hand. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so I'm not seeing any participation. There are 139 people on the call. So a simple request, if you can go to, yes, now I'm getting a few responses. Boring and interesting, okay. Good, okay. Any other responses? Let's see, let's make it a very interactive session, guys. I think I'm sure you want to gain something out of this, right? So let's get a little interactive. It's a little bit messy, absolutely. boring and interesting. Yeah. Okay. Boring. I think, yeah. Same with me. Yeah. I've been fed up working from home. It's too bad. Okay. Let's try and make it a little good for you as we have got educated. Okay. Um, Fed up, actually boring, interesting. It's okay, sleepy. Yeah. I think I fully agree to all of you. I think boring and interesting is coming out as key point with 11 responses. Let's see if others respond. Guys, let's test this tool. It's a very interactive tool. You can open it from your mobile as well. Um, I see a few raised hands. Not sure why that is. If you want to speak, please you can speak. Okay, I see about 12 or 13 responses. I think key highlight is that it is interesting and boring. Yeah. So I think those are the two things which are coming out quite clearly. Can't concentrate. Absolutely. I think that's true for all of us, right? And hence I want to make this a very interactive session. So unless you kind of interact, unless you take part in the discussion, you won't feel good, right? And I will not feel good as well. I can't, stare at the screen and just speak, right? Um, 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 See, I just think about how boring that can be, right? If I was in class, at least I would have seen your faces and at least some reactions, right? So I think let us keep it very interactive, and hence I want to really test out the next question. Okay, let's stop here. Now, what comes to your mind when you hear Industry 4.0? Yeah. Let's try this interactive method, guys. So those of you who are feeling bored but find it interesting, let us try and make it more interesting and less boring, right? So for that I need your help. I'm sure all of you have mobiles and all that, so why don't you pick that up and go to menti.com, use the same code 2311501. Yeah. No, I think you are still talking about the last question. Why don't you? I'm resetting it. Yeah. Yes. So my question is, what comes to your mind when you hear Industry 4.0? Okay. You find it interesting. Can you be a little more specific? Future development, interesting automation. Okay. New technology, future development, curious. Yeah. Somebody said somebody sent a love sign, which is good. Okay. um, it's a company. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that. Something about technology. Okay, next generation. Okay, don't know. Okay, very good question. I think it's very good to say that you don't know. I think that's the first step to learn, right? Curious, something new. Yeah. Okay, improvisation in industries, new technology. Nothing. Somebody said nothing. Okay. I think you are very bored, and we'll try and change that perception. Huh? We'll try and make it interesting for you. We'll try hard. Yeah. All of us together. So for which I need your help, right? Which means you need to open up menti.com on your mobile and use the code 2311501. Okay. Now tell me some of the. Now I'm changing my question. Okay. I'm resetting the results. What new technologies have you heard about? So let me try and ask. What new technologies have you heard about so far? I mean, in the paper, in the news, in the class. What all have you heard? Can you just give me the terms? I mean, whether it is big data, whatever you've heard. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of news and reading a lot of Elon Musk's brain chip. Absolutely, IoT, absolutely interesting Indian apps. Okay. PUBG, yeah, it's banned now. Okay. Data science, cloud computing, yeah. Machine learning, absolutely. AI. Um, software companies, okay. Software companies is not a technology. RPA, absolutely. Yeah. Virtual reality, absolutely. Apple's 8th generation chip, absolutely. Guys, I think I want more participation. I'm only see 17 odd people commenting. I'm sure all of you have mobiles. Why don't you open menti.com, menti.com, use the code 2311501. Yeah. And let's be interactive. Yeah, I think edge computing, absolutely. Online class itself, yeah, interesting. Nanotechnologies, yes. Robotics, yes. Deep learning, yes. Cybersecurity, yes. Okay, so I have about 23 odd people commenting, and all of you are absolutely, I mean, spot on, right? So, yeah, so we will be talking about Industry 4.0, and very happy to be talking on the subject. Very close to me, uh, for sure. So the picture I put there is purposeful. I mean, I kind of looked up some of the 3D printing examples, and this is a example of a 3D printer, one of the larger ones, which is printing a two-storied building. Yeah. So think about it. It's a machine which is building a two-storied building with all in 3D, right? Meaning all the interiors, rooms, everything grounds up, and it is all I mean, making these two-storied building through this 3D printer, and it's a huge 3D printer. And gone are the days when printers were used only to print written text, right? You can now print your toys, you can print any equipment, you can print even human organs, right? I think that's where we are going towards, and I'm sure you've heard other examples, right? Whether it is flying cars, whether it is voice enabled um, equipments, which is powered by edge computing, where you can ask intelligent questions to your devices and it will respond to you, right? And that's where we are going towards, and I'm sure this batch, as well as this group of people who are on the call, will get exposed to more such technologies than the professors or teachers who are teaching here, because in your lifetime you would see much more advances, and we will kind of be left behind, right, in terms of how we are catching up with technology, and you will kind of be the early adopters for some of these technologies. So I think we have come a long way. Maybe I'll kind of get into some of the theory. I think we have come a long way, right? I mean, if you go back to history, we had the industry 1.0 where it was all about mechanization of productions, and a little bit of theory. I think all these technologies are focused on a few things, right? One is how do you do things more efficiently. I think efficiency was always given the focus, saying that can you do more with less, right? I think that's a critical thought process in everyone's mind across generations. So even today, if you see how people are getting evaluated, people are given people give value to speed, right? How fast are you able to do and accurately, right? So that's where machines kind of help. And if you see the first generation industry 1.0, I mean, it was all about mechanizing. Earlier everything was done by hand, and then you had power, you had hand looms or whatever looms which started making those things in a very mechanized manner, right? And it was powered by water and steam. Yeah. The 2.0, the beginning of 20th century, mass production, and electricity was introduced, right? And electricity was introduced, and in that process, things started becoming much more quicker, right? You started making cars faster. Earlier, it was taking a lot of time to assemble a car, but with the industrial revolution 2.0, you had cars being mass produced with very, very less time, right? Now, beginning of the 70s, you are looking at industry 3.0, which is the use of electronics, yeah, and IT, and a lot of automation started happening. Right now, with that, you are seeing a lot of robotic, mechanized robots which are taking over some critical tasks, some tasks which are harmful for humans, and so on and so forth, and doing it very, very efficiently, right? Now we are in the age of industry 4.0, where it is all about cyber physical systems, where the boundaries of what a cyber system does and physical system does is blurring, and we are using more and more of cyber computing devices to make things in our worlds. Right now, think about your daily, and I have the slide. Yeah, maybe this will kind of explain it to you a little. So think about various functional things that you do, right? Whether it is mechanics or things that you're doing mechanically. Can you can you integrate cyber systems, whether it is your, cameras, whether it is your sensors, whether it is your chips? Now, can you use that to do a few things, which is monitoring? Now, monitoring would mean that, say, assume you have an old parent at home and you are not at home, right? What if you give them a wristband, and currently your Fitbit and your typical digital watch that you wear, it does a lot of things which earlier was done only at a hospital, right? For instance, measuring the heartbeat, measuring the blood pressure, measuring a lot of things which are now getting done at ease with a simple wristband, right? Now, assume that you have such advanced wristband in your parents' hand or a grandparent's hand, and you are able to monitor how they are, whether their vitals are going well, and a lot of those things, right? And if there are any thresholds which are getting breached, which means if the blood pressure is going up or down by a particular measure, can you be notified, right? So those things are happening, right? With condition structured health monitoring of devices and human beings and other things. And then you can also do diagnosis. So if you feel that things are going wrong, you might want to do a double click, maybe to check whether when somebody is walking fast, how's the heartbeat responding to it. Or even today you can understand your oxygen level in blood, right, through these devices, and many such things. So you're doing some diagnosis to further understand what's going wrong, right? And then finally, can you control that? So whether it is your camera on in your home, or whether it is your device that you have in your grandparents' hand, can you control it remotely? Now, those are the realms where you are getting into a industry 4.0 situation, where you are mixing and matching the cyber and physical systems together, right? And what are the use cases? How does we as humans get value from it? Many things, whether it is smart factories, smart cities, smart grid. Smart grid is all about your electricity, right? How you are able to do load balancing, how you are ensuring that from a low consumption place you are moving the electricity to a high consumption place, and hence saving a lot of money and all that, right? Smart logistics, smart products. So those are the ways you try to use some of these systems. Okay, now I want to really stop here to see if you have any questions that you want to kind of pose. Maybe I can again reset the results here. Okay, questions. Do you have any questions at this point of time? We are at the theory level still. Okay, no questions. Okay, so now what are the implications? Now implications are many, right? you're thinking about robot assisted production. So you saw the 3D printer example that I spoke about in the first slide. That's about robot assisted, right? So you don't need human beings to make houses anymore. Of course, that will take time to become mass, but that's where we are going towards, right? You're having robots do production for you. Predictive maintenance. Now think about how easy it would be if you never had a breakdown of your machines. I mean, these days you have your modems going down, your household appliances going down. Wouldn't you like if a electrician or a technician comes to your home and say that, sir, looks like your fridge might have a problem in the next 2 hours. Can I come and fix it for you proactively? You would love it, right? Exactly, that's where we're going towards, right? So you're thinking about predictive maintenance. You're thinking about manufacturing of complex parts using mechanized methods. Machines as a service. You don't have to buy a machine. The machines, you can focus on getting the value out of the machines and just pay for the use. Big data, meaning you're collecting large sets of data to really improve quality control. Production line simulation, you can many times what happens is, especially in the production line where you're making large devices, you will only, if you have to kind of find out errors, you only find out errors when you make it, right? But in the current scenario, you can simulate situations and you can do end-to-end kind of a simulation, right? Which means the algorithm can run various permutation combination and then tell you also which combination is the best, so that you don't get into problems later. So that will help you to become better at your production line simulations. And of course, supply network becoming smart. So these days, if you remember, during the pandemic, the supply chain got hit very badly, right? And rightly so, because everyone started working from home. The trucks were not plying, railways were stopped, everything was stopped, right? So hence the supply network got impacted. But during normal times, is there a way we can kind of predict things going wrong and then accordingly take action so that your supply line never breaks? So those are things which will get impacted positively with the industry 4.0 coming into place. So those are some of the examples and implications of how things will change with industry 4.0 coming into being. Now let me kind of make it very, very real for you in terms of what does it mean in the current day and life, right? In the industry 4.0 scenario, let us look at a typical day in the life of an individual and then think about how industry 4.0 will start impacting you and anybody else here, right? Now, I mean, this is a typical day in a life, right? Wake up, work out, commute to work or whatever, work, network, food, sleep, or maybe you can add some entertainment and all of that in between as well, right? Now, waking up, I think most of you, I'm sure even now, and maybe I used to for sure, was woken up by my parents who used to almost shout and ask me to wake up, right? And that was a regular day in a life. But these days, those things are changing, right? I mean, you can have devices which not only helps you wake up, but also tells you how was your quality of sleep, whether in terms of how many times were you snoring, whether you were in deep sleep, whether your sleep quality was good. So there are a lot of things that the machines now track. So with a simple wristband that you have, it tracks all of that by measuring your heartbeat, by measuring a lot of other basic things from your body, right? And tells you what you need to do differently from tomorrow, right? In terms of how many times you're, I mean, during sleep, a lot of things happen with our body, whether it is your eyeballs or the way we snore and so many other things, right? So those things are tracked and you are told what you need to do differently to get good night's sleep, right? That as a basic level. Workout. Yeah, we get up, we go for a workout. And I'm sure some of you are already using Fitbit and a lot of those wrist devices which will kind of measure the number of steps you've taken, the distance you've traveled, and lot many things. I mean, your heartbeat, your pulse rate, your breathing, and so many other things, right? So it will also help you to select certain type of workouts, and it also kind of in fact in mobile there are apps, and if you don't have a trainer, it doesn't matter, you have a very advanced trainer with you through apps, right? And you just have to give them objective. If you want to have good abs, it will tell you exactly what exercises you should do, at what pace, when do you need to stop, when do you need to start, how much you need to rest, and so many things, right? Try out, you will benefit a lot. There are a lot of these workout apps, which will help you to do workouts and keep track of your health. Yeah. Commute, of course, these days we are telecommuting and we are not actually commuting. And telecommuting, I think all of these apps which helps you talk to each other, have the right backgrounds. You would see the background, that's the background I downloaded, right? I mean, and I don't want to show the messy background that I'm in, but I want to show that I'm in a very clean background, clean room, right? And that's what technology helps you to do, right? And even if you have to commute, there are a lot of, I mean, the way you commute and all of that have changed, right? And I'm sure all of you use Google Maps these days. Google Maps itself has advanced quite a lot, whether it is telling you which lane to avoid and which traffic to avoid, many things that it kind of brings to you, right? And there are also research going on. In fact, there are prototypes also already available of flying cars. I mean, of course, autonomous cars are already new for us and still to come to India, but we are already hearing about flying cars, right? And those are also becoming reality, right? And those are already only possible when the physical systems and computing system merge, right? The way we work, yeah, I mean, who thought that we will all be working from home, right? And working from home is becoming a reality, right? And people are living, giving back their office spaces and letting people work from home, yeah, which also means that you don't have to travel to cities to get work. Yeah, you can be where you are. I mean, be with your parents, be in your hometown, but only requirement is having a good internet, and that's of course a challenge, but I'm sure those things will get solved eventually, right? And yeah, so that's work. Network, I think, earlier I think we used to kind of meet people, a small set of people who and maybe after work, after school, you would go and meet them. Yeah. And of course there's no replacement for such networking, and it is so relaxing to meet an old friend and just do chit chat, right? However, these days networking has taken a larger connotation, right? Whether it is your social network through your Instagram or anything of that sort, right? And also you can today network professionally, right? People connect on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and establish contacts, and a lot of people are getting benefited from it, whether it is jobs, whether it is recommendations, whether it is getting new project. So those are also happening through networks, right? And powered by computing systems, right? And again, even the LinkedIn's and others have also advanced, where you are being tracked in terms of what kind of quality comments are you making, and it's also helping each other, right? I mean, you learn a lot. I mean, especially for me, Twitter, I don't know how many of you are on Twitter, and that's my Twitter handle. Please feel free to create your handles and track people who are tweeting about the right subjects. Trust me, this ever what do you call educative. I mean, I've kept pace with what's changing around me through Twitter, and will highly recommend you to be on Twitter and learn. All right. So feel free to follow me. My ID is Mahesh_Narayan, and I tweet on strategy and analytics and AI related topics. Coming back, food, yeah. I'm sure all of us go to restaurants, right? And given today's times, going to a restaurant is risky, right? And hence we focus on getting them ordered, whether it is simple call to the restaurant, or today we have Swiggy's and Zomatos of the world, right? So we can, order food, we can kind of, get them to come and deliver, and all that. And today those things have also taken a huge change, right? For example, the apps are telling the restaurants what people like, because they have a good amount of data, right? So they are kind of determining, depending on what people like, what the vendors should start selling, right? And that's also a revolution in a large sense. And I also talked about entertainment, and that's also changing big time. I don't know how many of you have been watching Netflix and Prime, Amazon Prime. Some of the movies or some of the series that they have started are phenomenal. The type of quality and the kind of content is super rich, and so very modern, and so very uh, help to connect with that story. Yeah. And these days, even online, if you see the music conferences or music, whatever, those shows are also happening online. Yeah. You are already in an IPL time when all of us are watching IPL, and with not one individual in the stadium. Why not? I mean, that's why would you I mean, let's change our thought process, right? Although I love to be in the Chinnaswamy or any of these stadiums to watch the cricket, and it is a huge experience. But do you enjoy cricket there? I mean, at least for me, it was not. It was everything else, right? And if your stand is not near, and you hardly used to see what's happening on the ground, right? But in your TV and in your living room, you get to exactly know what is happening on the ground, and that's what is important, right? So watch your game from your sofas, right? And all of us are doing that, enjoying to the fullest of this IPL season, and that's how things will be slowly, right? Yeah, that's food and entertainment, and of course sleep. I think I spoke a little about it. So I wanted you to kind of get a sense of how Industry 4.0 is kind of impacting each of our lives in a daily scenario, and that's an understanding I wanted you all to get. Now, in this change world, what kind of skills will be important? Yeah, in this Industry 4.0 world, and I wanted you to kind of understand that a bit, right? So the ones in blue are all your skills, abilities, and knowledge. Yeah. So judgment and decision making, fluency of ideas, active learning strategies, originality, systems evaluation, deductive reasoning. So if you see the list of skills that are needed, are all things that you kind of develop over the years, right? And hence I would really recommend, one is keep reading, keep traveling, keep meeting more people, um, and give yourself varied experience. I mean, don't just focus on one experience. Earlier, in a few decades ago, I think it was okay for you to do one thing for 40 years, but now that is not the case. You would have to reinvent yourself many times. So ensure that you are getting varied experience. And in today's world, please don't hesitate to get and do any job that you get. Trust me, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And it's the exposure that you get which is more critical, that the kind of people you met which is more important, right? So pick up any job that you get, even if it is work from home, even if it is work from office. Pick up anything that you get on the table. Yeah. And trust me, all those experiences will help you to be ready for what the future is out there to deliver for you, right? Yeah, one other thing I wanted you all to kind of get is, in this Industry 4.0 world, never stop the right brain thought process, which is your creativity, intuition, arts, feeling, imagination, while your left brain thought process is anyway strong, and your education will help you get it strong. But your robots of the world will kind of take away a lot of things which you would do slowly, right? So the robot will have an edge there. But on the right brain, I mean, people who are creative, and always be very close to yeah, Divya, I'll come to you. Very close to what's important for
the final consumers, and you and me are consumers, right? And think emotionally, think, have a feeling, get your sixth sense up, think creatively, bring your imagination on the table. I think those are some of the things that you should for sure bring. Yes, so Divya, over to you. And maybe after that, Abhishek, yes. Go ahead. Divya and Abhishek, I think you guys raised your hand, right? Oh, okay. Didn't I see somebody raising your hand? Yeah, Yatish, you want to talk? Guys, you can unmute yourself and talk. Okay, was it a mistake? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, what I was saying is that please bring your right brain thought process on the table, which means your creativity, intuition, arts, feeling, emotions, imagination. Yeah, and be very close to your stakeholder or your customer. Always think in terms of your customer or the final stakeholder you are trying to solve problems for. Yeah, and that will hold you in good light in the future. Some of the things that you will be interested in thinking of, what are the must have tech skills that you need to have and to be ready for the industry 4.0 world, and no brainer here. I think I've listed down 20 odd popular languages, and most of it will be something that you already know, but I would strongly recommend you getting certifications in most of these places. I'm sure ICT Academy is helping you to get most of these certifications. Please feel free to get them, and try to practice as much with a lot of live data, right? And people always come and complain that, hey, I'm doing the certification but I'm not getting a chance to practice. Please, I mean, there are a lot of platforms these days, Upwork and similar. There are many of those apps which helps you get more projects, and you can start earning even now. If you're good in some of these languages, trust me, you will get projects right now when you're at home. Yeah, and people will pay you money for doing that work, right? So develop these must have tech skills. I have Excel embedded here. I'll send you these slides, and this is the excerpt of those courses that you can potentially take. All are in the 4.0 area, whether it is machine learning, data science, AI, quantum computing, augmented reality, reinforcement learning, blockchain. So all these are some of the best courses. I've kind of collated and curated a list, some of which are payable, but not a big cost. So please feel free to take these. And some of the courses are 8 months long and quite valuable, yeah, in the industry as well. So strongly recommend you to kind of go through that and ensure that you are having these skills and certifications. Yeah, it's time to roll up the sleeves. So before anything, and before I kind of stop, and I want to give at least 15 minutes to you asking questions and do some live interaction, and I will strongly recommend that you unmute yourself and ask questions. But before that, I wanted to basically say that industry 4.0 or any or 5.0, 6.0, whatever, some of these basic traits requires zero talent. Doesn't matter. Yeah, irrespective of where you are kind of getting educated, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have education, some of these leadership traits really take you a long way. And I would say, think about some of these things at the basics, right? Very basic: being on time. Do you, like, for example, to me, there is some, because it has built in to me as a habit, there is some internal alarm which goes out that, oh my god, I have only 10 minutes and I have not had my breakfast. Yeah, and then And it is not that I do, it is involuntary, right? And involuntarily I'll be on the seat 5 minutes before, right? And that's the habit I would want all of you to inculcate. Just a very basic thing. I mean, does not require talent, does not require education, does not require a lot of those things, but these are all traits which are valued hugely in organizations, right? Work ethic. How do you work hard, right? How do you show that you are really caring about the work and taking ownership and all that? Put in the effort, right? Who those who put in more effort will get promoted, right? And keep that in mind. Body language, always show that you want to help, you mean, you're serious. Yeah, I mean, if I'm sitting like this and I'm talking, what would you think? That, hey, this guy is not interested at all in me, right? But what if I'm here and saying and talking to you actively, it means I care, right? And that's a pretty important trait to have, having the right body language. Bring the right energy, right? You cannot delegate energy to someone. I mean, be passionate, be very energetic, and then say, hey, we can make a change together, right? I think that really helps. Bringing the right attitude. Yeah, many times when we hire for attitude. Trust me, skills can be built. Doesn't matter if the person has zero skills, still that can be built in a year's time. But attitude, even after 40 years, you cannot build the right attitude. So think about what is the right attitude you need to have and try inculcating that in yourself, right? Passion. And I'm sure you would have met somebody who have very high passion, right? And you instantly love that person and like that person, right? So ensure that you are bringing that passion, and it is clearly seen to others. Being coachable. Yeah. How many times have you picked up a new skill? Try this. I recently, not recently, about a year back, I tried learning a new skill, maybe photography. I was very bad at it, right? I didn't know anything about it, right? It was tough for me. Yeah. And trust me, the process was hard, but in the end, I really loved it, right? And it also pushes you a little, because as human beings, more and more we grow older, our ability to learn becomes lesser, and fight it hard. If you fight it, you will become very good at it. And I know a few people who can pick up any skill that you want. Doesn't matter. There is a friend of mine who learned the art of doing carpentry himself, and he custom makes tables and chairs these days. Can you beat it? These are all people who are very well educated with very good masters from some of the best universities, and then they just thought that, hey, let me try my hand at something which I don't know. And during this pandemic, I'm sure most of you would have also learned that. I've learned how to cut hairs. Yeah, through YouTube. Yeah, I wanted to. My son was was growing a lot of hair, and my father and I cut their hairs, right? And I learned it from YouTube. So pick up that a new skill that you always wanted to. Be coachable. Yeah, and then go the extra mile, do the extra, right? And always be prepared. So for today's presentation, I spent my time to prepare for it yesterday night. And as the saying goes, sweat in preparation is more is good, so that you don't bleed in the battle, right? So spend your time preparing for all that you are getting ready for. So with that, I would want to open up for questions, and I would really want a good interaction between all of us. Please unmute yourself, and we can interact. Else I'll be forced to pick up people at random.
Sir, that was a wonderful and enlightening talk. Now the session is open for question and answers. Participants can post their questions in the chat box.
Okay. Yes, guys. Questions for you from you? Let's keep it interactive. GMIS 2020. What is that? Sorry,
So they have asked that, what are the views on the recent GMIS 2020?
what is GMIS? I'm sorry. No, I can learn here. Okay, let me Google it up.
Shashank, can you expand it?
Oh, it's a conference, looks like. Global Manufacturing Industrialization Summit. Okay, I don't have any views, guys. But yeah, some of these conferences are very, very interesting for you to attend, and it kind of brings in the best technologies uh, for you, and it will be really, really helping you to understand what's the new technologies in the industry. And I happen to attend some of the technology events, and that kind of keeps me updated on what are the new technologies which are coming up. Yeah, so strongly recommend you to attend these conferences. Yeah. Which projects, in which way projects and all must change, enjoying new technology? I didn't understand that question, Kushal. I think you're saying that what what should you do today to make the most of new technologies? I would say try to see if you can automate lot of things which are done manually. For example, I'm sure your teachers are doing a lot many things manually, whether it is marking, whether it is giving grading, whether it is taking attendance. And a simple example, once you are back in class, can you make a facial recognition based attendance system so that you can totally eliminate those yes sir, yes sir, yes madam kind of attendance business? Yeah, I'm sure these days you have fingerprints, but fingerprints and all are not safe in the COVID time, right? So why don't you develop a facial recognition based attendance system? Yeah, I think that will go a long way and maybe help. This is one way to give back to teachers. Why don't you automate whatever they feel is mundane? I'm sure a lot of those papers that you write as answer scripts, poor or hardworking teachers would need to read those shabby handwriting to figure out what you guys are writing and then give grades to it, right? Why can't you automate? You create a OCR based system with which you kind of extract whatever text and then ask teachers to tell what are the uh, one what do you call best answer, ideal answer, and then ask it to match in an automated fashion and give grades. Yeah, so that you are helping teachers to let them not do certain mundane tasks which they don't like. I would strongly recommend you take up those projects. What advantage of learning? What is the future of gaming industry? So gaming industry is going through a huge change with PUBG and all are getting banned. I would say, I mean, first of all, um, so of course, entertainment is one important industry, and all of us would need entertainment at whatever stage of life we are in. I think uh, uh, you will see a lot of augmented reality games coming in, Bin, right? Whether it is you're wearing headsets and you are transported to a new world and you're playing games with each other in that world. So those games will be quite real, yeah. And people who are interested to make games, please keep an eye on the augmented reality games. I'm in process with a multinational project. We need bring a change in education technology. How can you demonstrate in all schools? Okay, demonstration. So first of all, create a demo version which is available on YouTube. Create a small video and then post it on all social groups. I think that's the best way to reach out. And if you can also reach out, I'm sure you can collect all the email IDs of all the schools. Maybe send it to them. Yeah, so that will be a good way to reach out to them. We should have a certificate and more than marks card and company more impact. I didn't understand that question. Tejas' question is, sir, why we should have a certificate and more than marks card and company required more in practicals? Tejas, I didn't understand the question. What about blockchain technology? Yes, very, very apt technology. Please be updated or get certified in those. Where can we get updated also for X? For which website to follow the field of technology? Twitter is the best way, Varsha. So please have a Twitter handle. Please follow the right people so that you are getting updated on what's happening in technology. Can we adapt to new technologies, serve traditional education? Yeah, I mean, nowadays we are forced to adapt to the new technology, right? So that's the best way. Some guidance from your work experience. In which area, Anuja, Aruna? I didn't understand which area you want guidance. In the Bitcoin in India, not sure, although this market is yet to mature in India, Shank. So keep a watch out, keep reading on what's happening. So yeah. Can vending machine business bring in profit if to grow in India and how to start? Yeah. So Abhishek, recently, Big Basket BB Daily is a company which has kept vending machines in apartments, like a grocery store. So you can buy whatever you need at whatever time of the day, even in the night, you can go and buy vegetables or buy milk and all that through these machines. And in these COVID times, that business will grow a lot. So how to start? I mean, start by building a business plan, and then talk to investors, banks, get in the money, start, find your right customers, and get started. What is the use of cloud in technology? Cloud technology. Okay. Cloud mean that you are kind of using not your personal computer, but saving it in a shared computer, and you're saving cost accordingly, and that is super useful. What are my views on GDP decline? So yeah, I mean, that's the reality. All of us have to be wary of what's happening around the world, but that should not stop our energy and enthusiasm. So keep going, keep buying, keep spending if you have, of course, wisely though, and then support people who are poor. Yeah, whether it is buying vegetables from the roadside shops and not large. I do that. I mean, I'm talking about myself. I prefer to buy vegetables from small time vendors on the road rather than buying it from supermarkets, because I somehow feel that that is helping them get some money, right? So that's my way of giving back. Although it's supporting each other, right? I need fresh vegetables, and I would also be helping a poor individual. Yeah. Online scientific conferences. What will it be popular? Absolutely. In fact, all the conferences are online these days. Yeah. Lean manufacturing has been there. I think it's kind of entwined with the industry 4.0, saying that it will be least waste, more efficiency. I think that's the name of the game, and that's going on for a long time. Okay, so let me do this. So I'm at five minutes. I need to drop. I have an important meeting starting. Will households and commercial workplaces become fully automated? Absolutely, they're already getting automated. Yeah, Srivatsan. Guys, thank you so much. I think I need to drop. I have an important meeting to attend. So it was a really good experience interacting with you, and I think we should do more of these question answer session so that you are able to get answers to most of the questions. I think that's the best way of learning. Yeah. And thank you so much for having here, Madam, and Vishnu. Thanks for calling me on this meeting. You have a very good day and have a bright future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now we have come to an end of the session. On behalf of the management, the institutions and the organizers, I thank speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Mahesh Narayan, for enthralling the audience with your talk. I am thankful to Professor Vijay Kumar AS, Principal of KD Society's Degree College, for organizing this successful webinar. I thank faculty members of Department of BCA for helping to organize the webinar. The response we got for the webinar was overwhelming. It's your active participations which motivates us to conduct more webinars. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all the participants for making this webinar a success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.